Let us read the next verse and understand, then we will reflect on that. Verse number 97. Idam shariram shrunu sukshma samnitam lingam tvapanchikrita bhuta sambhavam savasanam karma phalanubhavakam swadhyanato anadirupadhiratmanah. Idam shariram, this body. Now here this means what? The body that we are seeing. We are not talking about gross body now. Idam shariram shrunu, shrunu. Oh, my student, listen. Remember in the story, the teacher is telling this to the student, right? Idam shariram sukshma samnitam, which is called as sukshma. Samnitam means called, termed. Which is called as sukshma, subtle, is also called by another name, lingam. Has got another name, linga sharira. So sukshma sharira is also called as linga sharira. Linga means what? Linga means indicator. That which indicates. What do you mean by that which indicates? It indicates whether the life is present or not present. It indicates where it is a being or an inert object. Whether it is a living being or an inert object. What is the difference? The difference is this linga. This linga sharira, one who has, there will be expression of life. Wherever there is linga sharira, sukshma sharira, there will be expression of life. So it indicates, it expresses life, and therefore it is called as linga sharira. It is an insignia of life, signature. Linga sharira is there means life is expressing. The moment linga sharira leaves, dead body. Gross body is there, but life has gone. Life has gone means the expression of life has gone. Means what? The sukshma sharira is gone. Therefore it is called as linga sharira. Another name. Tu apanchikrita bhuta sambhavam. It is indeed that twapanchi we should understand. Twapanchi means what? Tu apanchikrita. What is it made up of? Apanchikrita bhuta sambhavam. Sambhavam, it is born of. Born from what? Apanchikrita bhuta. The bhuta, the elements which are apanchikrita. Apanchikrita, which have not undergone the process of panchikarana. What is the other name for this apanchikrita bhuta? What are they called? Subtle elements. Okay. One more word. Tanmatra. That alone in their pure form. Remember the 5 elements in their pure form. Then what happens? Then panchikarana happens and they are mixed with all the other 4 also. Then they become gross. Right? But this subtle body is made up of subtle elements. So gross body is made up of gross 5 elements. Subtle body is made up of subtle 5 elements. So even our thoughts, careful, even our thoughts and all the powers of indriyas, the powers of pranas, all of them are formed by what? By the 5 subtle elements. Therefore, when we speak of bhautika jagat, the world which is created by bhutas, panchabhutas, it includes gross world as well as subtle world. Why? Because subtle world is also created by subtle elements only. It is also bhuta sambhava. Apanchikrita, agreed. It is made up of subtle elements, but it is still made up of elements. Apanchikrita bhuta sambhavam. Okay, up to here no problem. No problem. This subtle body is called as linga sharira. Okay, accepted. It is made up of 5 subtle elements. That is also accepted. Now, what is he saying? Savasanam. Sa means along with, sahita. Along with vasanas. What is this vasanas? See, actually there is no equivalent English word for vasana. But you can, for sake of understanding, you can call it as impressions. impressions. This vasana, interesting word, very interesting word. Vasana comes from root vas. It cannot come from that root. Vas means to stay. Means what? That which stays. It doesn't go, it stays. What do you mean by impression? You see, when we are experiencing something, anything that we experience, a kind of impression is created based on that experience. That impression is called as vasana. Let us take an example. Suppose I am new to any place. I go there for the first time. So now obviously if I am going there for the first time, I don't have any vasana, any previous impressions of that place. I don't have, because I am going there for the first time. But I do have impressions about my habits, all my habits, no? What kind of food I like, what kind of places I like to visit, all that is there. Now somebody tells me that in this new place, if you want to eat good North Indian food, because you are from North India, now you have come to South India, so obviously not many hotels etc. you can eat good North Indian food. If you want to eat, this is the place. Now remember what has happened? Have I experienced it yet? No. I have my previous impressions of North Indian food which I like. But this place I have not yet experienced. Now just now somebody has told me, so I go there. Then what happens? I eat. Now two possibilities are there. What? Either I like or I don't like. Just because it is North Indian food doesn't mean no I will like. So both possibilities are there. Both are stored as impressions. If you like, it will be stored as impression that this was good. This is good. If you don't like, not that good. Both are stored as impressions. This is called as vasanas. The impressions that are stored from an experience. So the experience goes, but the impressions stay. That's why vasana, vas, to stay. Now many times what happens is, we forget the experience, but the impressions stay. Careful. We forget the experience, but the impression stays. Why you don't like cabbage? You can't give answer. No, I don't like from childhood. But something must have happened because of which you don't. That I don't remember, but I don't like. See, the experience because of which that impression is created that you don't like cabbage, that experience is forgotten. But the impression has stayed. Not only that, the impressions stay even in other births. So something that was experienced very strongly in my previous birth, experienced I don't even remember. I don't remember my previous birth at all, but the impression stays. That's why some people are from childhood, they are afraid of fire, some are afraid of water, some are, some like some kind of food, some don't like. From where are these impressions coming? How can you have, if you have never experienced fire, how can you be scared of it? If you have never eaten any particular, vegetable, etc., how can you not like it? Impression is there from the past. Some people like sweet from childhood. Some people like spicy food from childhood. Some children you must have seen, they just eat lemon. Have you seen? They just take lemon, cut it and eat. Whereas other person, what are you doing? Some people take salt and they eat. Some people take sugar and they eat. Some people put chili powder on top of anything and eat. How are these differences coming? Because of impressions. We may forget the incidents, experience, but we remember the impressions. And remember, those impressions are not seen unless they show themselves. These impressions are extremely subtle. You don't even, suppose I tell you, you list down all your impressions. You cannot. You cannot. Only at that right time it comes out, it expresses. So these impressions that are stored are called as vasanas. He says savasanam along with vasanas, which means what? He says vasanas are also part of subtle body. Note this. In all other texts, vasanas will be put as karana sharira. Vivekachudamani, Shankaracharya puts vasana in subtle body. We will see why. We will see why, but that's what he does. In Shankaracharya's text itself, he will put vasana in karana sharira, okay, in other texts. Why is he putting it like this here? We will understand why. But savasanam, this sukshma sharira is along with vasanas. And what? Karma phala anubhavakam. It is cause for anubhava. Anubhava of what? Karma phala, result of action. Means what? It is the cause because of which I experience results of my actions. Just now we saw, whenever I am doing any particular action, an impression is created out of that action. Correct? At the same time, a result is also created of that action. Every single action that I am doing, these two things are created. Impression, vasana, and result, karma phala. And karma phala is of two types, punya and papa. We know, good action with good intention will create punya. Bad action or with bad intention will create papa. Now this punya papa is called karma phala. This punya papa comes in our life as what? As sukha and dukkha, respectively. So punya results in sukha, papa results in dukkha. And how am I experiencing this sukha and dukkha? By this subtle body. Sukha and dukkha is part of subtle body. These are thoughts. They are subtle body. Therefore, it is said here, karma phalanubhavakam. It is the cause for the experience of result of action, karma phala. Means what? Any time you are happy, it is the result of punya karma that you have done in the past. As simple as that. Any time you are sad, it is the result of papa karma that you have done in the past. Which means what? Nobody in the whole world can make you happy or sad other than yourself. No, Swamiji. I am sad because somebody said something. No. No. You are sad and that sorrow is result of your past actions. You were bound to be sad. Why? Because you have already booked your own flight back then. You had to travel. There is no option. It is like ball, no? Cricket ball. You throw it up. You forget that you have thrown the ball up. After some time it comes and hits your own head. It happens sometimes, These cricketers, etc., they take a catch and in enjoyment, because I took a catch, they throw it and then they are, clapping each other, etc., and the ball comes and hits on their head only. Now somebody, you start looking, who threw, are you only. You only had thrown it up, now it has come back to you. Don't blame others for your sukha dukkha. Why? Because sukha dukkha is the result of punya papa which is created by you in the past. Now what is the job of subtle body? It gives you, what we say, an opportunity to experience this sukha and dukkha. Karma phala anubhavakam. It is cause for the experience. It is not cause for sukha and dukkha. Please understand. That subtle body is not a cause for your sukha dukkha. Subtle body is cause for experience of sukha dukkha. Sukha dukkha is caused by your own punya papa. Right? Subtle body is only creating that environment in which you can experience this sukha and dukkha. That's it. Karma phalanubhavakam. Every word is so important. Savasanam karma phalanubhavakam. Next, what does he say? Swa ajnanataha, due to ignorance of oneself, swa ajnanataha, due to ignorance of oneself, anadihi upadhihi atmanaha. This subtle body is anadi upadhi. Anadi upadhi, beginningless conditioning of the self. Atmanaha, of the self. What do you mean by upadhi? Earlier also this word had come, but we have used it in a different way. Now let us understand the word properly. Word upadhi has got two factors. Upa, adhi. Upa plus adhi, upadhi. Upa means near. Where this word had come? Upa means near. Guru upasadana, upasana, upanishad. Remember? Guru upasadana, staying near. Upavasa, oh, so many words we have used so far. Upa means near, samipe. And adhi means to throw. Adhikshepane, to throw. So upadhihi is equal to what? Write the meaning. First you write in Sanskrit, then we will see in English also. Upa samipe sthitva. Upa samipe sthitva. Sviyan gunan anyatra adadhati. Anyatra adadhati iti upadhihi. This is called as upadhi. Upadhi means what? Upa samipe sthitva, staying near. Sviyan gunan, one's own characteristics. Anyatra adadati, throws somewhere else. That is called as upadhi. Samipe sthitva, sviyan gunan anyatra adadati. Upasamipe sthitva means what? This upadhi, it stays near an object and throws its properties on that object. Example, suppose there is a crystal, there is a prism, crystal is there. Now, the moment you keep blue cloth in vicinity of that crystal, near that crystal, what happens? The crystal appears blue. Isn't it? Careful. Actually, the crystal is colorless. Isn't it? That's why you will see what is on the other side if there is nothing. But what happens? In that crystal, because something is taken. Now what? That blue cloth is upadhi of crystal. Means what? Staying near, it throws its properties. What are its properties? Blueness on the other object. Is called as upadhi. So when we speak of anatma, not self, we are actually talking about upadhi. What is not me but appearing to be me, that is called as anatma, that is called as upadhi. So you can say anatma is of three: sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, karana sharira. You can also say these are the three upadhis of the self, of me. Upadhis means what? Something that is not me, stays near me and throws its properties on me. That is called as upadhi. Means what? I am not the body, but body stays near me and poses to be me. Means what? It throws its properties on me. I say, I am not well, I am a man, I am short, I am old. All these are the properties of the gross body, we have seen. But it stays near and it throws its properties on the self. Similarly, mind. Similarly, the subtle body. Subtle body is the second upadhi. First upadhi we have seen is gross body. Now the subtle body is second upadhi. What does it do? It also stays near and throws its properties on the self. I am thirsty. I am hungry. I am sad. I am happy. I am understanding. I am not understanding anything. Actually, all these are properties and functions of the indriyas, pranas and mind, etc. But they are superimposed, they are thrown on me. The subtle body is also upadhi. But what is the speciality of this upadhi? Anadi upadhi. It is beginningless upadhi. Gross body is not beginningless. And therefore, you have date of birth. That's how you celebrate your birthdays. There was a time when it became upadhi for me. And of course, when there will be beginning, there will be end also. So, under a picture, you write both dates from this to this. This body expressed or this body was the upadhi of the self. There is a beginning, there is an end. For gross body. For subtle body, can you tell me what is the beginning? No. Why? Because the subtle body keeps on traveling from one gross body to another, another. From when? Since when? Beginningless time. But it is beginningless doesn't mean it is endless. It will end. It will end on realization. That we will see. That's not the topic now. Now the topic is what? Atmanaha anadihi upadhi. It is the beginningless conditioning. The word conditioning is what we use for upadhi. Again, as I told you, there are these English terms are not exact. Just for our understanding we use. Vasana is much more than just impressions. Upadhi is much more than just a conditioning. But for the sake of communication, we are using these terms. So, when I say impressions, remember vasanas. Most of the times I will use the word vasana as it is, word upadhi as it is. Why? Because the English equivalent are not exactly communicating what we want to say, right? So, this is anadi upadhi, it is the beginningless conditioning of the self. Now, so what is this verse saying? This verse is telling me that this sukshma sharira, subtle body, is also called as linga sharira because it is an insignia of life. Okay. It is made up of 5 subtle elements. Okay. It is along with vasanas. Okay. It is cause of experience of my results of actions. Karma phala anubhavakam. Okay. And swa ajnanataha, due to one's ignorance or due to the ignorance of the self, which is beginningless, this upadhi of subtle body is also beginningless. You cannot tell at one particular time subtle body became your upadhi. No, you cannot tell like that. Right? This much we have seen about the subtle body. Now what? Generally, you study in other texts. They will say subtle body is made up of 17 factors. Huh? 17 factors? Just now we said 8 factors. What are the 17 factors they refer to? Pancha Jnanendriya, they measure all 5. Not Pancha Jnanendriya as 1. Here how we did was all 5 put together as 1. No. Pancha Jnanendriya 5. Pancha Karmendriya 5. 5, 5, 10. Pancha Prana 5, 15. Mana and Buddhi. Mind and intellect. Already I have told you. When you say mind, Chitta is included. When you say Buddhi, Ahankara is included. So basically, 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action, 5 pranas and 4 antakarana is what is called as Sukshma Sharira generally. That's why if you would have seen, before combining it, he has only explained these 4 things. Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Pranas and Antakarana. That's it. That's what he explained. But then while putting together, he has added some things. Ajnana, Kama, Karma. Now in this verse, Vasana. Isn't it? Anadi Upadhi. Why? Let us understand one by one. He has also included the 5 subtle elements in the subtle body. How? Isn't it? You see, in the above verse 96, he says, Panch Abramukhani Pancha. And then verse 97, he says, Apanchikrita Bhuta Sambhavam. So in one place, in one verse, he is saying that subtle elements are part of subtle body. In the next verse, he says that subtle body is made up of subtle elements. So what to understand? Let us see, one by one we will go. So 5 subtle elements are considered part of subtle body because the cause is nothing but effect, or rather the effect is nothing but cause in different form. Isn't it? The glass in which we drink water is also called as glass because it is made up of glass. It is as simple as that. It is made up of glass, but it is also called as glass. So the effect is nothing but cause only in different form. Therefore, even if somebody includes the 5 subtle elements into subtle body, that's okay. That's okay. Now remember, all these explanations that we are giving now, many people will say, not required. We believe in Shankaracharya. If Shankaracharya is included, there must be reason. So this further explanation is not for them. But I am sure there will be few people who will say, why? How can ignorance come as subtle body? How can vasanas be part of subtle body? How can karma? Karma is physical. How can it be part of subtle body? For them, this explanation is given. I am also warning that you may not understand all the aspects of this explanation. As we keep studying further, the previous points will get clarified. And it is not right for me to explain everything right now also. Okay, just understand that he is explaining, he is including all these things in subtle body. Why? That's the only thing that you need to understand. So 5 subtle elements are included in the subtle body, not as the subtle elements, but as the effect of those subtle elements, which is the subtle body.